Dear colleagues, students and friends, Kalispera, iyi akşamlar, good evening. We are delighted to welcome our dear friend Aliye Ummanel from the Nicosia Turkish Municipal Theatre. I would like to say a few things about her before we get started. She makes valuable contributions in theatre as a playwright, director, and dramaturg. And I must emphasize that she has brought a breath of fresh air to Turkish Cypriot theatre with her plays. Aliye, as an artist from the post-war generation, she brings together characters from the old and new generations, as well as from the Turkish and Greek Cypriot communities on stage. And she engages them in dialogues that focus on the history, politics, and social order of the island. Post-war displacement, bereavement due to the loss of the loved ones, and dissatisfaction with the new order are among the main issues she focuses on. She points to the need to question the legitimacy of the singular realities presented to the public by those who hold political power. She makes clear the importance of giving voice to the experiences of ordinary people for the unification of the island and the achievement of peace. In short, she endeavors to reach the universal by feeding on the local and to produce works that appeal to all humanity and beyond their time. And now I would like to give the floor to dear Aliye without further delay. The title of her presentation is Theatre as a Space for Confrontation. After her talk, we will move on to the question and answer session.
Thank you. I thank you, first of all, Ahmet, for your introduction and words that actually somehow made me feel what we are doing on the island is worth doing. And I would like to thank all of you to be here tonight for this event, for your giving your precious time, and I hope we will make the best of it, talking on theatre as a space for confrontation. I see students here now from the faculty, and I see friends that I made along the way in my long journey in theatre, and I feel very happy for that. It means actually what we are trying to do, which is at the core of it. Yes, there is confrontation, the effort of confrontation through art is actually working, because we are building friendships and collaborations all the way. And when we decided with Ahmet about the topic, the title of the talk, it triggered my thoughts. I started to try to define what confrontation is, because it's sometimes, it is what you try to do, but when you stop and think about it, it's worth giving some time. So I tried to define it. And but I took notes. I wrote and wrote and wrote for days, and then something happened this morning that I decided to leave this aside and tell you about that. So what happened is I went to an early lunch during my preparations for this event, and there I met a lady. I think she's like in her 80s, and we had a very lovely conversation there, and she was telling me about marriage, love, and her memories with her husband, who passed away many years ago, actually at an early age. And she told me we used to sit next to each other on the couch, on the sofa watching TV, and I'm a lady who thinks too much, do things at the same time. I never stop. And he would watch like very calmly. And I would ask him, what's in your mind? And he would say nothing. What are you thinking? He would say nothing. And she tells me this and she says, he passed away. He didn't give me an answer. And I still wonder what he was thinking. But now I have very little time to go near him. And when I go, I'll ask him. So I just thought that this lays actually this is what we mean by confrontation. So confrontation might be an unanswered question. Maybe her husband died like 30 years ago, I'm not sure. But she kept that unanswered question in her mind, and she's dreaming of the day she'll meet him and ask him. So that is really a true confrontation, an unanswered question. And sometimes this is between two people, but sometimes it is within ourselves, an unanswered question. We look for it, we search for it. And I'm thankful for being a writer, a playwright, that in my journey, I have the chance to look for it while writing. And the answer of an unanswered question, I can search for it while writing. Sometimes I do not know the answer either. And I write and it becomes a play. And we watch it all together. And I try to find the answers with the audience. So we share this common experience. So sometimes it is an unanswered question. Or question, yes, unanswered question. And sometimes it is a truth unseen. So what we mean by that, of course these are my own definitions, they are not written in dictionary. What I mean by that is that sometimes as human beings, for some reason we avoid seeing a part of something, or we just kind of miss it, or it's some way hidden to us, and we need a breeze to move the curtain and to make it clear. So we see it was actually there, that object or that truth, that reality, whatever, it was there, but we need a breeze to move the curtain so that we see it. So in our case, art or theater can be the breeze itself that moves the curtain. But what happens, and we don't see that reality, it's sometimes the politics going on around us. It's sometimes the way we grew up, just the way we live, and it's sometimes the things that they just are as they are. So art there helps for it, and helps to change the fixed ideas that we build in years, helps to change the concrete ideas. So there is this moment in life or in art that we come face to face with something, and at that moment we just see that we see that something was there and we hadn't seen it before, or we could think of the things in some other way, in some other perspective, and there art helps, or at least I believe we have the responsibility as artists to do that, because confrontation, maybe to put in a more poetic way, is the name of the gate that opens to the field of change. The field of change is where artists work on. They plant here the seeds of truth. Change is the mission of art and artists. This is what we are for. That's what I think. To create a change. In order to take our tools and start walking towards that field, we need to make a decision. We need to see a situation that matters for our lives. We need to want that situation change. We need to decide to change it. Art is what creates a change. By change, what I mean is a change in our minds and hearts. And a good artwork, for me, is responsible for that. It changes, it brings a A good artwork is the one that brings a constant idea that existed on our minds for a long time upside down, that makes us curious about our own thoughts, whether it was true or not, whether it is real or artificial. That makes us question, that makes us more passionate about life and about the struggle in it. These are the ingredients of the soil we work on in that field. Because through art, we confront our fixed ideas, we confront our fears, we confront what keeps us from progress, we confront the distance with our beliefs and the truth. We confront the distance between our hearts and ourselves. We confront the distance between two people and the reason for that. But we also confront that it is possible to change that distance. We confront that we keep avoid seeing. We confront what we avoid to see, We confront the lies told us by politicians. We confront the disease of systems we were born in. We confront the common nature of people. We confront people can actually live in peace. We confront people actually can create solidarity. Create in solidarity, We confront people can find unity. We confront as human beings, we can be fools, we can be evil, we can be thieves, we can be murderers, but also we can choose not to be. We confront our will and power. We confront we are better together. We confront our faults, our weaknesses, and also our belief in each other. And for the confrontation to start, or for the work of artists to start, as a playwright, I usually need to find what is bothering me. And here I think it's a good time to start answering that question, what I try to confront in my plays. Birazcık su alabilirim Ahmet. So my plays are familiar to some of you, but maybe for my student friends, they are not. I will try to tell a little about them, but also mainly I will try to tell what I try to confront in my plays. So basically what I try to confront in my plays is what did the war do to us? What did the war do to us, the post-war generation? I was born 5 years after 74. Yeah, I can say basically, first of all, that it broke the beautiful continuity of time. So time was divided between then and now. Time was divided between before and after 74. But also, past became the ghost following us, the younger, the post-war generation. In other words, past was not over. So I'm the writer of 3 plays that can unite under the title The Cyprus Trilogy. So the first play is called Passatempo, and it was written in 2009. And when I started to write a play, I started to deal with the traumas, the post-war, and actually the psychology, the situation of post-war generation also. So in Passatempo, that's what I try to do. And through a metaphor, I try to actually put out there that it broke the beautiful continuity of time. But how did it do? So there is this young man in the play. Yes. So there's this young man and his mother in the play in passatempo. Passatempo means spending time, by the way. We all know passatempo, don't we? It's the pumpkin seed, yeah? So, and I just found out that it also means passing time. So in this play, I try to actually show that past is not over. The time passes, but for the post-war generation, it's kind of, past is kind of a ghost following. So it's actually in the past, the war is in the past, but it also avoids you from moving to future, and there is this suspension in present time. And I tried to tell this via this metaphor. This young man, before he was born, while mother was pregnant, she was shot during at war. The father died. They survived, but when he was born, he had a problem with his leg because of the gunshot. So actually, that was kind of a metaphor showing that past does not. Yeah, it is never over when we talk about war, and the next play, of this trilogy is called Missing. This Missing was performed in both sides of the island, of the border, and in both languages actually. We premiered at Nicosia Turkish Municipal Theatre, and we performed at Satirigo Theatre also. Some friends here remember, I'm sure, that performance there. Satirigo, yeah. And what I really wanted was that I will tell the story of this young man and his mother and his grandfather. This young man, basically, whose father was a missing person, and but actually I wanted to use the word missing, which is kayıp in Turkish, to refer to the kayıp nesil, the lost generation, because in Turkish you have you can do it, the word that's available for the language. And what I really wanted to do, and we did it with Nicosia Turkish Municipal Theatre and Satirigo Theatre, we wanted the audience to watch it together. So we had buses moving from north to south to Satirigo Teatro, and I think the theatre is approximately has 600 seats, but we had like maybe 700 audience there. Yes, it was a very, very crowded performance. Maybe here, but we don't see the audience well, but it was a very crowded performance. But what happened, the most important thing was, well, Christina's husband is here. So Christina was was one side, on my side Christina was sitting, and on the other Kudret, my husband, was sitting, and they have missing persons in their family. They both of them do. So the idea was we tell this story, but we tell it in a universal way. We don't use names, we don't have any geographical references, so this can be anywhere in the world, but it can be a story of Turkish Cypriots or Greek Cypriots. It's a common story. There is a father theme there, which is very universal. So what we actually managed to do there, I think, was that we, through emotions, through art, we tried to show what united us, what brought us together, what was common, what was common was the pain of a father, or the pain of being a member of a generation, of post-war generation. And it was really at that performance at Satirico Teatro, I really felt the power of art, and how we can use art to build empathy, to bring people, to unite people, to remind people what is common, what we share, not what separates us, but what brings us together. And that was a very important experience in my journey as a playwright. And I think it was also important because with this play, Turkish Cypriots faced for the first time, they confronted for the first time maybe, these painful stories of war. These themes were not on stage before this play, and so I think it's an important one to talk about. And then, yes, this is another photo from Anomenos, the missing, at the funeral of father, whose bones were digged out and buried again. As we know how Anomenos people's process is going on. So, and this is from Dospidi, the house, a photo of Dospidi, the house. Well, actually, before that, I just don't want. I want to. I don't want to skip this. The basic question of the play was, can't we leave it behind? And the answer was unfortunately no. The young generation, the young men, just wanted to leave it behind, the past, the war, everything. But but of course he couldn't avoid it, because the father was, the whole story was there again when missing persons process started. And in the house, I tried to focus on the displacement issue. And in this photo, we see all the characters together. A grandmother, and behind her is the granddaughter. The lady on the left is neighbor, and the other two there is mother and daughter who lives in a house now in North. And grandmother and granddaughter comes to visit when they are able to. And here we try to, of course, question the sense of belonging, and try to analyze how the sense of belonging was destroyed because of war. The basic question of the play was, who does the house belong to? But in the end, it changed as who belongs to the house. So I think it's a very basic question of our situation now. It's confusing, and also it's painful for the older generation, and also via generations the answers change. So here's an example of how I start with questions and I try to answer with the audience, or maybe I'm just left without any answers, just like the audience.
I think we should emphasize that there are two families coming together, one from South, Cypriot family, and Turkish family.
I'm terrible at summarizing and talking about my plays. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, for any question, just yeah. I think that's why I try to write and not talk. Okay. So, the only way to cure traumas of war is to avoid war, obviously. But art is there artists there to work for this, and also to keep reminding us what unites us, because there are lots of reminders about separation. Okay, so of course this journey, I mean, the possibility to be there at Satirico Teatro is the conclusion of a very long experience. Our masters, many other theater makers worked really hard to start these collaborations, and I want to emphasize, because I believe it's very important. This is a photo taken in 1987. It's a photo from Aristophanes' piece produced in Nicosia Turkish Municipal Theatre, and this play was the very first play that after 74 managed to pass the borders to be performed in Satirico Teatro in South, and it was a very, as I read from their experiences, the experiences of our masters, it was a very difficult situation. To take the permissions to go and perform in South in Satirico Theatre, to go from North to South, and I wanted to show you. This is the beginning of the collaborations between Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot artists, theater makers. The very beginning. This is Satirico Teatro again. Very crowded again. And this is the press writing about the event. It was a very big event then. Trying to get the permission and go, and it didn't happen in the next almost 10 years anymore. So Yaşar Ersoy and Christos Zanos and Costa Kafkaridis, I think, in the photo there, they're exchanging. They're on the stage. These heroes are the first theater heroes that started working. That started collaboration and showed how we can manage peace through art, actually. And this is the second event that happened almost 10 years, 9 or 10 years later. This is Satirico Teatro that came to perform in our Nicosia Turkish Municipal Theatre. With Aristophanes' play again, Hens, directed by Christos Zanos, and this photo I especially wanted to show you, because what I mean by struggle is actually this. This is Yaşar Ersoy and Osman Alkaş actors carrying the props, the stage decor of a play by Dario Fo, and there on the track, the back of the track, is Barış Refikoğlu, an actor from our company, and Fırat Eseri, the technicians, one of the technicians in our company. So this is an event that this happened in 2003 after. Sorry. Okay, after just 1 month after the checkpoints were started, that we started crossing borders. It started in April, and this photo is taken in May. So they immediately actually organized, they started collaborating. They organized an event. They were going to perform Dario Fo's play in Satirico Theatre, a play by Nicosia Turkish Municipal Theatre. And they got all the permissions, and they put the decor in truck, moved from our theater to the border, to cross the border, and in the evening they would perform this play. But at the border, the officers did not allow the truck with the Turkish plate to cross the border. So they asked Satirigo Theatre, they asked Costa and friends to bring a truck, a lorry with a Greek Cypriot plate to take the decor and move. And a truck arrived at the border, another one, but this time that truck was not allowed to cross to north to take the decor. Yeah, so so they worked hard there. They called the mayors. The mayors called all the bureaucrats. They did their best, but things didn't change. So in the end, there was this phone call between Yaşar Ersoy and Kutlay Erk, the mayor then. And he said, okay, we did our best, but we cannot do it. We have to cancel the event. But all the tickets were sold. The event was everywhere on newspapers. People were waiting for it. And these two guys, Osman Alkaş and Yaşar Ersoy, as the two actors and the actor and the director, they just solved the problem. Okay, since the trucks cannot move from north to south or south to north, they will not move. They will not cross the border. It's okay. So we are going to bring them back to back at the border. The tires are going to be behind the border. But yeah, they will just come back to back, and we will move the decor from one to the other, the stage design, the sets from one to the other. They did it, and the officers were watching what the hell is going on. Okay, and they managed to perform that evening. To me, yeah, for me this is a very symbolic event. How art can be creative to yeah, to cross the borders.
We sing joiners.
Sorry.
For communities.
Yes, yes. These are what brings communities together and closer, actually. Yes, maybe I should be about ending the speech and take questions if you wish. But before that, I need to tell that I can't, since I started thinking about this speech, I can't help but think, I can't help thinking that, you know, we have I'm thinking whether an unborn Palestinian child now, who is going to be born after war, just like we did, like 5 or 6 years after everything ends, and hopefully as soon as possible, whether he or she will grow up, become a playwright or a theater maker, and start telling about the traumas of his or her families and the past that is not over. And this is not for ending the speech in a hopeless way, but just the opposite. It is for reminding us we need to keep struggling, whether we bring the lorries back to back in Nicosia or coming face to face with our unanswered questions. We need to keep going. Yeah, thank you for listening to me.